Okay, this is chapter 5, section 7, the final section in this chapter called The Decision for God. This is a big one. This is a big deal. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, I had circled in paragraph 1, line 7, you cannot choose to escape his care because that is not his will. But you can choose to accept his care and use the infinite power of his care for all those he created by it. Okay, so it's like it says you cannot choose to escape his care because that is not his will. So, all right, I'll just share what's coming to me. So as you know, I have a daughter. If, and this is just speculation, if she were ever to decide to leave my home and to leave my direct care in some way, she could never abolish the love I have for her. And so you can't really escape the love that's there. It's like a force. You can choose to maybe avoid it and not accept it, but it is there. You can't abolish it. You can't escape it. But it's saying here more so the power is in accepting the love of God, the love of the Spirit, and using it says the infinite power of his care for all those he created. It's like you can return to love, and then you can tap into it, and then you can extend it. So that's an option. Instead of running away from it, you could benefit from it and benefit others. Okay, paragraph 2, line 4. Unless the healer heals himself, he cannot believe that there is no order of difficulty in miracles. Unless the healer heals himself, he cannot believe that there is no order of difficulty. Yeah, so you can only really, if you haven't healed any difficulties in your life, then you're not quite in a position to heal anyone else. So yeah. And that doesn't mean to feel bad if you still have a challenge and you feel like you still do hold it in your mind, well, this is a really complicated problem and it's complex and it may not be able to be healed. And, I have my own situations, but I think this has been proven to me. There's no order of difficulty, but each person has to undertake that for themselves. Line 6, you are merely asked to return to God the mind as he created it. And then I circled line 8, sanity is wholeness, and the sanity of your brothers is yours. So that's the part about returning your mind to God, give it back. It's kind of like what comes to me is if you have a car and, the way you drove it and you didn't follow the manufacturer's instructions and you kind of wrecked it. It's bring it back to, the plant where they made it. Return it back and they can put it back into its true condition. And so we're being asked to return our mind to God. He created it perfectly. We kind of went off and messed it up a little bit. We misperceived and miscreated. Let's return back. Just give it back so there can be some rectifying of what we've done. Okay. Paragraph 3, line 1. Why should you listen to the endless, insane calls you think are made upon you when you can know the voice for God is in you? Yeah, so it's why put up with the crazy when you can just ask for the peace? Forgive me there. Gotta refresh. Okay. And the last line, the willingness. Okay. Excluding yourself from the atonement, this is line 4, is the ego's last-ditch defense of its own existence. It reflects both the ego's need to separate and your willingness to side with its separateness. This willingness means you do not want to be healed. Okay, and I think this can be quite complicated, where maybe we find ourselves kind of really believing on some level we're not worthy of receiving a complete forgiveness, and we're not worthy of receiving to be healed. You know, it's kind of like you took that car, you went and messed it all up, you know, you didn't take good care of it, you didn't get the oil changed, and you, I don't know, put in the wrong oil, and then you neglected it, and then you bring it back to the manufacturer and you feel ashamed, like, I'm sorry, I messed this all up. And yet it's kind of like the manufacturer's like, you know, don't believe you're bad, you know, don't believe you're bad. And where was that line about the guilty? Oh, there's a line about the guilty. Is that here? Okay. Paragraph 5, line 5. If you allow yourself to feel guilty, you will reinforce the error rather than allow it to be undone. It's like, bring it back to the manufacturer. You know why? Because you have a lifetime guarantee repair. It's signed. The company's happy to put it back into its original state. You've been given a lifetime warranty on your soul, on your mind. So you can bring it back and just say, yo, I'm sorry. I kind of went off the rails here. Can you please put me back in order? And but some of us don't feel worthy. And when we have this willingness to, you know, keep this car that's not working and not bring it back when we have a lifetime warranty, it's like, well, then you don't want it to be fixed. So that's just something to recognize, not to feel guilty about, because again, it's not going to help. It's like, don't reinforce it. Like, just recognize, oh, wow, I'm keeping this broken car, you know, and what I mean is, you know, I'm keeping this pain in my mind. I'm keeping this fear, and I'm not returning it and asking for a full restoration of peace. And so I guess, is it that I don't want to be healed? Wow. Why would I hold on to this? And it's not to be bad. It's just like, it's the whole course is so nice about like, yo, you take what I give you, which was pure, and you messed it up, and then you don't give it back to me to fix it. You stay broken. You cut yourself off. I can't, I want to help you and I can't. But it's like, but you can just decide again and say, oh shoot, whoops, bringing it back, you know. But we want to make like this drama about it, and it is painful. I think it's not that it's that simple. It's just that once we're awake to the facts, we can then say, whoa, this is pretty insane, and I don't have to live this way. So paragraph 5, line 1. Whenever you are not wholly joyous, it's because you've reacted with a lack of love to one of God's creations. That one is like, yeah, and that's just for, you know, let that sink in, because I kind of am like, whoa, okay, what does holy joyous look like? Because I'm not sure if I'm living up to it. But it's just because we have a judgment of any kind. Like, I woke up a little late today. I kind of woke up like, whoa, I could slept longer. I was in a deep dream. And then life is happening, you know, and it's like, I gotta get ready. I gotta get Justine. But I just like, take it slow. But I don't think I was like, you know, woke up with like bursting sunshine all out my pores. Okay, and the last paragraph says, decision can be difficult because, again, this is the decision for God section. Decision can be difficult. This is obvious if you realize that you must already have decided decision cannot be difficult. This is obvious if you realize that you must have already decided not to be wholly joyous, if that's how you feel. So you decided to call, waking up late a problem, and to call the way your body feels groggy or heavy or whoa, and you decided to label all that and have that story going. You can. So it says, therefore, the first step in the undoing is to recognize you've actively decided wrongly, but you can as actively decide otherwise. So it's like you can pick your radio station in your brain. Okay. So again, line 5 is the one I start. That means something important. It says your part is merely to return your thinking to the point at which the error was made and give it over to the atonement in peace. So again, your part is bring your broken car back to the factory because you have an unlimited life warranty. And just say, yo, instead of like messing up the exhaust any further, can you just reset that system back to its normal state, back to its original. So then we've got the famous invitation. I must have decided wrongly because I'm not at peace. So this is the step-by-step process you can say to yourself to go from not peace to peace, whatever that not peace looks like. I must have decided wrongly because I'm not at peace. I made the decision myself, but I can also decide otherwise. I want to decide otherwise because I want to be at peace. I do not feel guilty. And if you do, it's like, I'm willing not to feel guilty, or I'm not interested in feeling guilty. I don't have to feel guilty. This says, I do not feel guilty because the Holy Spirit will undo all the consequences of my wrong decision if I will let him. I choose to let him by allowing him to decide for God for me. Yeah. Okay, so let's say a prayer and close out chapter 5. So grateful for the awareness and the recognition that we are a perfect being. We are a pure spirit. We were made holy. We were made Holy and Wholy. Ely. And we can return to that state of purity in each moment. We do not have to keep any stories going of guilt or wrong or bad. It's ours to decide what's happening. It's ours to decide how we would like to feel and what we would wish to put our attention on. So we are placing our attention on peace. I'm being beckoned from the first floor. And we are deciding to take advantage of our lifetime warranty and allow the factory of God to reset our system anytime it's needed. And we are worthy of living in a perfectly functioning, highly functioning system that is wholly joyous. And so it is. Amen. It's happening.